While the Golden State Warriors have been one of the winningest teams in the NBA since making the trade for Jimmy Butler back in the beginning of February, they still have a big issue, in my opinion. And I don't mean to be doom and gloom right now, as Golden State has vaulted themselves out of the play-in tournament and into position to make a playoff run in the Western Conference. But these two guys right here, Joe Lacob, and particularly his affinity for Jonathan Kuminga, could spell doom for the Warriors in the future. In my opinion, Jonathan Kuminga just doesn't fit in this Warriors lineup. And, maybe I'm being too harsh right now, but this is an opinion that I've had for a long time and something that I've watched with my own two eyes with Kuminga on the basketball court for Golden State. And yes, he missed 31 games, more than a third of the season with that ankle injury, and he's not back to 110%, the player that he was in the 10 games before that he went down with the injury. But, man, these 4 games that we've seen so far with him back in the lineup just have not been all that inspiring. It seems like he's forcing his offense and basically doing things that Steve Kerr said not to do once he returned from injury. The raw numbers aren't great, man. 13 points a night, 3 boards, 3 assists. But again, abysmal from the field. As somebody who was above 50% shooter from the field for most of his career so far, all the way down at 40%. And keep in mind, he is only playing 23 minutes a game right now. He's not ramped up. He's still on a bit of a restriction, but hasn't come back as a confident jump shooter. Hasn't come back as a confident jump shooter in the mid-range. Hasn't really come back as a confident rim pressurer as well, which is supposed to be his best trait. And I get it. The sample size is small, but has he really been the player that we hope to throw this big wad of cash at into the offseason and take into the next era of Warriors basketball as Steph and Jimmy and Draymond get really old and on the back end of their careers? I'm not so confident that that's the case. And a big financial commitment to Jonathan Kuminga could spell, a couple of bad seasons in Golden State. But we're focused on this season right now. And if you guys want the Warriors to avoid the play-in, as there are 13 games left in the regular season, go down below and smash that thumbs up icon. Like today's video to lock yourselves in to a regular season sprint the rest of the way so Golden State could be in the 6th, 5th, 4th, potentially even 3rd seed in the Western Conference. Like the video to lock it in. Don't jinx it. In my opinion, Golden State's half-court offense is best when Kuminga's just not out there on the floor. We saw in what it seemed like, 15 games probably before Kuminga returned back to the lineup after the Butler trade, they were firing on all cylinders. They were spaced out. They were playing a very cohesive brand of basketball. They were running a lot of half-court sets that would see guys have backdoor cuts to the rim. Gravity would come to Steph. Gravity would come to Jimmy, and guys would get open as a result. But Kuminga's kind of been a ball stopper since he has returned back to the lineup. Once the ball touches his hands, they know he's going to pound the rock. He's either going to put his shoulder into the chest of a defender, take him to the rim. If he gets a mismatch, that's awesome. But settling for mid-range jumpers, putting up wild shots at the rim, specifically very early in the shot clock, has really irked me in his reintegration back into this Golden State lineup. And that's what Steve Kerr did not want. He didn't want Kuminga to have to force anything offensively, try to be the hero. We traded for Jimmy for a reason, to alleviate the pressure off of Steph, to alleviate the pressure off a guy like Kuminga, who in those second units, third units, would be able to kind of play that hero ball and be the guy who's dominating the scoring department. But he seems to be forcing things a lot right now. And honestly, when you take a deeper look at what Kuminga has done so far this year as a scorer, the efficiencies are so bad. To paint a picture for you guys here, true shooting percentage, which combines field goal, three-point, and free throw percentage, he's in the 24th percentile in the NBA. He's a bad free throw shooter. He's in the 10th percentile of free throw shooters in the league at 64%. You know how abysmal that is for a guy that you're about to go pay $30+ million a year to? Awful. It's bad when he obviously his best trait is rim pressure. He's in the 66th percentile as that. You'll see later in the video that isn't as good as you guys think. Effective field goal percentage, 26th percentile. Mid-range is actually the worst. It has been so bad. 31% from the midi. That's abysmal. He's in the 8th percentile. Genuine embarrassment on my face right now looking at Jonathan Kuminga. And then when you look at where he's getting his buckets at on the floor, here are his hot zones, or should I say cold zones, because he literally only is above league average in 2 spots. And guess what? He's only attempted 1 field goal in one of those spots. So really only 1 spot on the floor Kuminga is above league average at. Everywhere else, he is a net negative. So if you're seeing Kuminga operate in that mid-range, just expect a brick. Expect a brick. And expect one early in the shot clock. Well, half of the rest of the team that's on the floor isn't even ready and set in the half court just yet. And looking at all this stuff, Joe Lacob, what are you thinking? You want to pay this guy big money? You want to commit long term and for him to be one of the focal points? Like, if you're committing $30+ million to a guy like this, he is one of the focal points of your roster for years to come. Somebody who you're going to feel confident closing lineups with. Well, guess what? Golden State didn't do that against the Milwaukee Bucks and came out with the win. In that Bucks game, I think Kuminga, like, this might be a stretch, but Kuminga lost himself money in that game. He was the guy who turned down a 5-year, $150 million contract before the season started. Do you know how insane that is? Like, to turn down 150 M's before a season even starts, going into a contract year, turn that down, betting on yourself, to go get more than $30 million annually when you don't have a jumper? It's malpractice by Jonathan Kuminga. It's malpractice by his representation as well. He lost himself millions in the Bucks. Constant early shot clock shots. Like, team's not set. And you know what? Steve Kerr saw this and said, all right, well, this isn't a guy that I'm confident closing the game against. This is the closing lineup against Milwaukee. You had Pods out there. You had Buddy Hield, who had a fantastic game. Like, when I'm defending Buddy Hield on a video at Warriors Today, you know whoever else I'm talking about is really shit in the bed. Gary Payton's been an absolute MVP over the last couple of weeks. Butler absolutely took over in the second half. And Draymond has been an absolute stalwart on the defensive end of the floor. He's quickly climbing up the Defensive Player of the Year ranks right now, and he wants that award. So this lineup closing the game, +6 in the final 4 minutes, that's when Jonathan Kuminga was subbed out, paints the picture that you need to see, that Kerr does not want this guy on the floor closing out games. Golden State might have lost that game if Kuminga was out there on the floor taking CTE shots out there early in the shot clock. Do you bench this guy or do you trade him in the summer? Like, there are a couple of options here. You could keep him. You could pay him. You could pay him, but don't be surprised when long-term the results and the production that you get aren't what you got. And I understand he's 22 right now, but man, at some point you just gotta give it up. He is 22, but he'll also be going into year 5 in the NBA next year, and he really hasn't shown much polish on the offensive end just yet. Do you bench him for the rest of the season? Like, I'm not saying for full games. Do you give him like 15, 20 minutes a night? Or do you trade him in the summer? Sign and trade in the summer, send him somewhere else, and try to get some assets back to build up this rotation for next season. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but first, I got to give a major shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform because it's daily fantasy made easy. And they're always trying to hook you guys up with incredible deals. You can win up to 1,000 times your money on PrizePicks, and you can start off with a free $50 in your account when you sign up using our promo code CLNS and place your first $5 entry. You might be asking me, Tyler, how do you place an entry on PrizePicks? Super simple. Just pick a lineup, pick a sport first, or multiple sports if you want. Combine them if you want. Basketball, hockey, golf, darts, bowling, does not matter. And just pick more or less on players' projected stats. 2 to 6 to be exact. It's March Madness time, and I decided to get in the fun. I know the Dubs play tonight, but guess what? This is college basketball's week. I had Janai Broom because they're giving you a free square. More than half a point against a 16 seed? Yeah, I'll take that every time of the week. And also give me John Poulikitis of the Yale Bulldogs to go have a big day as well. He fills up the stat sheet in the Ivy League. Give me more than 21.5 points, rebounds, assists. And then Joe Bamisile of the VCU Rams looking to make it upset over BYU. Give me more than 1.5 3-pointers made for the 8-10 stud. You can tail my picks, fade my picks. Make sure you go and do it at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use the promo code CLNS for $50 instantly when you place your first $5 entry. You don't even need to win to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks. Run your game. All that information will be clickable down in the comment section and description of today's video. So after talking about the deficiencies of Kuminga so far this season, we have to transition to this. Like, Joe Lacob loves Jonathan Kuminga. More than Steve Kerr loves Jonathan Kuminga. More than Mike Dunleavy loves Jonathan Kuminga because he was willing to trade him off to get KD to Golden State at the trade deadline. Obviously, we know Durant shot that down. But we know Lacob loves Kuminga. Remember what he said to Anthony Slater? He was almost puzzled when Anthony Slater even brought up the possibility of Kuminga having contract stuff going on this summer. He said, why? Lacob said, yeah, he's going to cost a lot of money. So what? Absolutely. 100%. Are you kidding me? I love that guy. We love him. Well, guess what, Joe Lacob? You don't speak for all of us. You don't speak for all of Dub Nation. You know what? For all the Kuminga stands in the comment section, go prove me wrong. Go prove me wrong to why this guy, you believe that he could be the focal point of Golden State for years to come. And don't just say because he's 22, because it's going to be year goddamn 5 in the NBA. Like, Steve Kerr might have to just drop his nuts and ignore Lacob and sit him. Don't play him as much. Say, oh yeah, we don't think he's physically that ready, but behind the curtains, you're not comfortable closing the games with him, and a guy who's coming into a contract summer. It's really malpractice by ownership here in Golden State if they want to pay this guy big money. Because how can you do that when you don't feel comfortable having him out on the floor in big-time situations? Like, you're playing Giannis, you're playing Dame. And what has Golden State lacked throughout, since the trade for Jimmy Butler? Probably an athletic presence like Jonathan Kuminga. Well, guess what? He hasn't been trying to act like that since his return. In that first game that he came back for, he was great. But man, let's look at these lineup. Let's look at these numbers again. These low ranks that Kuminga has had across the board this year. There's a player that he was being offered up for by another team in this league to go get another stud, whose ranks rank way higher. Look at these numbers right here. Oh yeah, 91st percentile in true shooting, 82nd percentile effective field goal, 73rd percent in rim field goal percentage. And guess what? This player doesn't even attack the rim like that crazy. Mid-range, 62%, 62nd percentile. 86th percentile on three-pointers. He shoots 40%. You know, Golden State could use another 40% three-point shooter. Oh, yeah, and he doesn't miss from the line either. 94th percentile in the league. I doubt the Nets would make that now. I doubt the Nets would make that deal now. You know who this is? It's Cam Johnson. Doubt the Nets would make that deal now, other than seeing what they've seen from Kuminga. Missing 30 games. Taking CTE shots early in the shot clock. Not being a good team player. More about me than we. Doubt the Nets would make that deal now unless they think that Kuminga could be the focal point of their roster. I don't know any team in the NBA that would want that. That GM should be fired if they think that's the case. Steiny from 95.7 The Game. I know I don't like to put his quotes in here a lot, but he kind of summed it up pretty solidly on the Steiny and Guru show earlier today. He said, I'm not giving Kuminga playing time if we're trying to win a championship, and he's not up to the standard of the other players. We continue to make this more about Kuminga than the Warriors, and I'm out on that. I agree, Steiny. Like, I don't agree with you all the time because you like to make hot takes, kind of a shock jock on Warriors. Sorry to call you out there, but paying Kuminga big money will doom this franchise for years to come. Like, you're not – for a team that's in the second apron, and yes, a lot of money's going to come off their books once Steph and Jimmy and Draymond are all kind of done with their NBA careers after 2027. But, like, who's going to want to come play for the Warriors when Jonathan Kuminga is the highest paid player and the focal point of the offense? I wouldn't want to come because what can Kuminga not do? Oh, yeah, pass, shoot, dribble, defend in a team scheme. All things that you need to do to be able to be a good goddamn basketball player. Kuminga does none of them. Oh, but he can jump high. Sick. He can sky above the rim, get a putback slam once every 2 games because he really doesn't crash the glass all that much either. It would absolutely doom the franchise if Kuminga was dealt big money like this. What to do with him? What do you guys think? Have I been too harsh today? Let me know if I'm a hater in the comments section. I know I'm doom and gloom about Kuminga all the time. I flipped and flopped back. I tried to see the silver lining on the guy coming back to this lineup and Golden State getting an extra 17-point per game score. Nah, they got a ball stopper back in the lineup. What to do with JK? Let me know in the comments section. Type K for keep, type T for trade around this summer, so maybe Golden State can get some assets back. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section right now. I need 2 phones. Shout out Kevin Gates. I'm making calls to see what's out there. Who wants Kuminga and who's going to give me something in return to get him? Call it to Miami Heat. Give me Wiggins back. Nick Roloff, the Heat Report host, said he'll do it. So go call the Heat. Go get Wiggs back. Go get another player who can shoot 40%, sit in the corner, shoot 40% from 3. Because clearly, whatever else Kuminga does isn't worth it enough that I would not want him, or I would want him over a player like that. And to kind of bring this into perspective, look who we have here. Brandin Podziemski, a guy who I previously called not an NBA player. Well, guess what? He's no doubt a better fit than Jonathan Kuminga. He can actually space the floor. He took big consequence 3-point shots against the Milwaukee Bucks, and he nailed them. Went 2 for 2 late in that fourth quarter. He was absolutely awesome. And when he comes back from injury, like, return from injury pods is actually insane. This guy came back from an abdomen injury, started balling out. It strained his back, came back from that injury against Milwaukee, balled out. 17 points, 7 boards. Like, if 6'4" Brandin Podziemski is a better rebounder than Jonathan Kuminga, then I don't want Kuminga on my basketball team. It's plain and simple. It's just that simple. I used to talk crazy about Pods, but I'm viewing him as a long-term piece for this Golden State team now. Now, before we get out of here, I do want to let you guys know a couple fun facts. If you guys have been here long enough, you guys are some Warriors real ones. So I got to give you guys some awesome facts. Steph is a plus 218 in the box plus minus this season. And for another old guy in the NBA, LeBron, He's in the minus category. He's minus 26 for the Lakers right now. That's actually insane to me. I saw that on Twitter. Just thought it would be a fun little factoid to get you guys on the tail end of today's show. And then also, Draymond Green is climbing the Defensive Player of the Year odds with Victor Wembanyama out of the picture now. Draymond's plus 900. I know it's kind of looking like Evan Mobley or Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be in the lead for that award, but man, Draymond's holding opponents to 42% from the field and 26% from three-point range. I don't think there's a better defender in the NBA than Draymond Green at multiple levels. Can guard wings, can guard forwards, can guard centers, can guard Giannis Antetokounmpo, who he held 0 of 6 from the field and forced 2 turnovers on. Draymond's been awesome, and I just want to throw those 2 factoids in there because those are our guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed, though, to Warriors Today, youtube.com/WarriorsTV. We upload daily Warriors news and rumors videos, injury updates. We go live for every Warriors game, so lock us in right here at this link, youtube.com/WarriorsTV. We'll see you guys in the next one, and as always, let's go Dubs.